Hello YouTube and welcome back to another Dare to Game video. Today we're playing Mount and Blade Bannerlord and we are doing another troop armor guide, and so we're going to be going through the troop tree for the Aserai and going through their top 7 best troops in the game and showing you all of the armor and weapons that they come with and of course ranking them as such. And this is not opinion based, it will all just be based on the stats of the armor and weapons that these people are equipped with. So let's just dive on in and start off with the worst one that the Aserai have to offer out of their top tier troops. So starting us off at number 7, we've of course got the worst one on this list, the JAWWAL BEDOUIN. And there are 2 different sets of armor for this one. The second one is slightly better, and so considering how bad both of them are, we're going to go with the second one. The helmet for this one is the spiked helmet with closed turban. Then we have the tasseled robes, the leather riding boots, a war camel, the fine steel leaf spear, the reinforced wicker square shield, the desert longsword, and the jagged javelin. So as far as the stats for this suit of armor goes, we have a total weight of 11.95 kilograms, head armor of 23, arm armor of 2, torso armor of 6, and leg armor of 8, giving us an average armor rating of 9.75, and making this the worst out of all 45 of the top tier troops in the game. So as I said, a pretty bad suit of armor here. Some obvious weak points being the fact that we have no hand armor, no shoulder armor. Our torso armor is just some robes that offer very little protection, and our boots are just boots that do the same. So pretty much terrible armor. That being said, you are equipped with a war camel, which is a pretty solid mount in all honesty. I know a lot of people don't utilize the camels in this game much, but the war camel is pretty solid. Unfortunately, we don't have a good armored camel saddle, but the camel saddle offers 10 armor, so it's better than nothing. For our weapons, we have the fine steel leaf spear, the reinforced wicker square shield, the desert longsword, and some jagged javelins. Actually pretty good weapons on the whole. I mean, the wicker shield doesn't have the highest hit points that it could have, but it is a pretty solid shield given how much of your body that it protects. So the weapons are actually pretty solid for the JAWWAL BEDOUIN. It's just that the armor really sucks. So my advice with this troop is try to keep them out of the range of arrows. But that is number 7. Let's move on to number 6. Alright, and so for our number 6 spot in the Aserai troop tree, we have the BENI ZILAL Royal Guard, which has 2 different variants. The second one being significantly lighter armor, so we're going to focus on the first one. So, the armor for this one is the pilgrim hood, the stitched leather shoulders, the stitched leather overmail, the mail mittens, the strapped mail trosses, the Darshi horse, 2 bags of hooked javelins, the fine steel leaf spear, and the fine steel long cascara. So as far as the stats for this armor go, we have a total weight of 27.87 kilograms, head armor of 3, arm armor of 34, torso armor of 43, and leg armor of 37, giving us an average armor rating of 29.25. So we have a huge improvement in armor over the last one, the JAWWAL BEDOUIN, which took the 7 spot. This one is actually pretty solid armor. Really the only weak point is the head, which brings down our average armor rating. If we had any sort of helmet at all instead of the pilgrim hood, it would be significantly better. That being said, the shoulders are also not nearly as good as they could be. They just, are better than nothing. The stitched leather over mail mittens, and strapped mail trosses are all quite good. Then of course we have the Darshi horse, which is a very nice war mount, one of the best in the game, and the reinforced plate barding, which is some of the best horse armor in the game. For our weapons, we of course have 2 bags of hooked javelins, so nice high damage javelins, and we've got plenty of ammo for those, so you can carry up to 10 of them. Then we have the fine steel leaf spear, which is a nice long polearm that can be used one-handed or two-handed, and of course lastly the fine steel long cascara, which is a good one-handed weapon as a backup. So overall pretty solid here. Only major weakness is the helmet. But that is number 6. Let's move on to number 5. Okay, so for the number 5 spot we have the Aserai Master Archer, which is a standard footman archer troop. The loadout for this one, because there is only one, is the pointed skull cap over gambeson, the leather shoulder guard, the gambeson over mail armor, splint vambraces, splint boots, the step recurve bow, 2 quivers of piercing arrows, and the slightly rigid fleeca. As far as the stats for the suit of armor go, we have a total weight of 20.532 kilograms, 32 for the head armor, 28 for the arm armor, 34 for the torso armor, and 37 for the leg armor, giving us an average armor rating of 32.75. So here we're getting into the realm of better armor in general. Obviously it's not nearly as heavy as it could be, but it offers decent protection for archer type troops, especially considering this is one with pretty high skills. As far as our weak points in the armor goes, it's really just 2. The shoulder armor isn't that great, and the torso armor isn't that great. The splint vambraces, splint boots, and the pointed skull cap are all decent enough armor for an archer troop. The strength in this one definitely comes from the weapons. The slightly rigid Fleece is a good sword. It's not great, but it's good. Then, of course, piercing arrows are some of the best arrows in the game, and we've got 2 full quivers of them, so quite a few arrows. And the step recurve bow, which is one of the best bows in the game. So overall, very good loadout for these archers. It makes them some of the best archers in the game, typically ranked within the top 3 overall. And this suit of armor makes it the number 5 on the list for Aserai troop tree. So that's number 5. Let's move to number 4. All right, so at the number 4 spot, we have the Aserai MAMLUKE Palace Guard, and there is only one set for this troop, and that set is the closed steel cap, the brass scale pauldrons, the southern decorated chainmail, the splint vambraces, the mail cavalier boots, the executioner's axe, and the tribesman throwing axe. As far as the stats for the suit of armor are concerned, we have a total weight of 28.77 kilograms, head armor of 52, arm armor of 40, torso armor of 29, and leg armor of 25, giving us an average armor rating of 36.5. All in all, a pretty solid unit, one of my favorite in the Aserai troop tree. That being said, it's not the best armor in the game. We have the closed steel cap, which is quite good, but then the brass scale pauldrons and southern decorated mail are both mediocre for their armor slot. The splint vambraces and the mail cavalier boots are both pretty good. The splint vambraces are actually quite good, and the mail cavalier boots are pretty good to mediocre. Overall, pretty cool looking suit of armor though, just visually. As far as our weapons go, we of course have the executioner's axe, which is one of the best two-handed axes in the game. And is quite effective against enemy blocks, shields, and otherwise well-armored opponents, so this makes it a pretty good shock infantry unit. And of course then we have the tribesman throwing axe, which makes it also have a little bit extra utility in the throwing weapon department. Overall, pretty solid troop, could definitely use a little bit better armor, and of course we have 2 empty slots, which could easily be filled with a one-handed weapon and a shield, making this a way more effective unit. That being said, that is number 4. Let's move on to number 3. Okay, for number 3, we have the Aserai MAMLUKE Heavy Cavalry, a heavy mounted archer / shock cavalry unit. So this one only has one set, and that set is the Emir helmet, the stitched leather overmail, the splint vambraces, the splint boots, and the Darshi horse. And then we have the step recurve bow, 1 quiver of piercing arrows, fine steel long cascara, and the large Adarga shield. So as far as the stats for this suit of armor are concerned, we have a total weight of 31.281 kilograms, head armor of 46, arm armor of 34, torso armor of 36, and leg armor of 36, giving us an average armor rating of 38. So this suit of armor really only has one noticeable weakness, and it is that there isn't any shoulder armor, so we lose a little bit of arm and torso protection that we otherwise could have had. That being said, the Emir helmet, stitched leather overmail, splint vambraces, and splint boots are all pretty good armor pieces in their own right, so they combine to make it a pretty good suit of armor. The Darshi horse is also quite good, and this troop usually has mail barding, which offers significantly good protection. Then, of course, for weapons, the step recurve bow is one of the best bows in the game. Piercing arrows, some of the best arrows in the game. We only have 1 quiver, but we also get the fine steel long cascara and large Adarga shield combo, making it a useful melee cavalry unit or a useful infantry unit on foot. So a very versatile troop and one of my favorites in the entire game, plus a pretty solid suit of armor. So that is number 3. Let's move on to the number 2 for the Aserai. So for the number 2 spot on the Aserai troop tree, we have the Aserai Veteran Infantry, and the set, because there is only one, for this troop is the closed steel cap, the bronze scale shoulder guard, the light lamellar armor, the reinforced mail mittens, the splint boots, the fine steel long cascara, the reinforced oval shield, the fine steel leaf spear, and the horseman javelin. As far as the stats for this suit of armor are concerned, we have a total weight of 38.06 kilograms, 52 for the head armor, 44 for the arm armor, 62 for the torso armor, and 22 for the leg armor, giving us an average armor rating of 45. So as far as this suit of armor is concerned, not a lot of weaknesses here. Brings us into the top 10 as far as troops in the game are concerned. The helmet is quite good, as is the shoulder armor. Our torso armor is probably probably the least good as far as in-class goes, but it offers pretty good protection. Then our reinforced mail mittens and splint boots are both quite good pieces of armor. Of course, our sword and shield combo is quite good with the reinforced oval shield and the fine steel long cascara. And of course, we have anti-cavalry option with the fine steel leaf spear and the horseman javelin as a throwing weapon. All in all, a pretty dang good loadout, one of the best infantry loadouts in the game just for balance, because there aren't any real weak points in it. And of course, it takes the number 2 spot on this list and the number 8 spot overall for all troops in the game. But that is number 2. Let's move on to number 1 for the Aserai troop tree. And finally, at number 1, we have the Aserai Vanguard FARIS, a heavy lancer / skirmisher unit. There is only one set for this unit, and that set is the pointed skullcap over mail coif, the reinforced scale pauldrons, the luxury scale armor, the splint vambraces, the splint boots, the Askarat noble mount, the Mamluk lance, the ornate Adarga shield, the Jarids, and the fine steel long cascara. As far as the stats for the suit of armor are concerned, we have a total weight of 40.29 kilograms. Head armor is 37, arm armor is 42, torso armor is 65, and leg armor is 45, giving us an average armor rating of 47.25. So it is the number 1 spot on this list and the number 6 spot overall for all troops in the game. So as far as this suit of armor is concerned, nothing really big to complain about. It's actually very good and very well balanced. We've got a pretty good helmet, excellent shoulder armor, excellent torso armor, and pretty good arm and leg armor, so really balanced all around, and it looks good. It doesn't clash at all. The Askarat is one of the best noble mounts in the game, stat-wise. The reinforced plate barding, which it comes equipped with, is some of the best horse armor in the game. And then for the weapons, we have the Mamluk lance, which can be used one-handed, two-handed, or couched, which is very nice. The ornate Adarga is one of my... I would say it's the only complaint I have with the suit of armor, because while it does have pretty high hit points, it is a very small shield, which does not protect much of the troop's body. But then we have the Jarid, which is one of, if not the best, throwing javelins in the game, and the fine steel long cascara, which is an excellent one-handed sword for horseback use. So this troop is another one that works very well as shot cavalry. It can be used for a little bit of skirmishing because they have throwing weapons, and it's also quite good on foot as an infantry unit to be used either defending a castle or assaulting one. So a very well balanced suit of armor and excellent weapons with this one. But that is the number 1 spot, the Aserai Vanguard FARIS. And that is all for the Aserai. So as you can see, pretty bad armor on the whole. They actually take the number 6 spot for faction armor in the game because they've got, just on the whole, the worst armor overall across their troop types. So as unfortunate as that is, it is true. Even though some of their troops rank nearer towards the top, too many of them rank way at the bottom. That being said, they're not terrible units. I find the Aserai to be a pretty decent fighting force to go with. And yeah, you just have to get used to the slightly worse armor with the high mobility and everything. But with that being said, hope this video was enjoyable for you and you were able to learn something from it if this is what you were looking for. But that's all for today, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching another Dare to Game video. If you like this video, please leave a like and a comment. If you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to the channel. If you like my content and would like to support this channel, consider becoming a member today for as little as $1.99 a month. It makes a huge difference. But in any case, thanks for watching and have a nice day. I'll see you next time.